Tonight we're learning more about that Santa Cruz Wharf collapse. It was Monday when the thing just came down. Dangerous swells were slamming into the structure. And then before you know it, people who were standing on there, city workers, found themselves standing on wood in the water. It was wild.
Yeah, KRON 4's Gail Ong joins us in studio now with the very latest on those cleanup efforts and what's next for the pier. Gail.
Yes, Noel and Grant, incredible. The 3 construction workers suffered minor injuries when that happened, and they were rescued and are safe. So now the focus is on public safety as they are cleaning out debris, and the hope is to reopen the wharf in weeks.
The incident on Monday was really the largest swell that we've seen in 30 years.
And as a result, Santa Cruz city leaders say about 150 feet at the end of the wharf was destroyed after dangerous swells slammed into the structure just before 1 p.m. Monday, while the coast was under a high surf warning. According to the National Weather Service, wave heights were about 30 to 40 feet, with the highest breakers around 60 feet at the time.
So that, combined with the end of the wharf being under construction and really damaged and weakened from previous year's storms, that was really the vulnerable point.
The impact causing 3 construction workers to fall into the water, along with the Dolphin restaurant and a restroom. That part of the pier was already closed since January of this year.
Right now, our immediate concern is getting the balance of the wharf open and our businesses operating again as soon as possible.
The Santa Cruz city manager adds some 400 employees will be receiving funds to offset the amount lost during the closure. That may include help with rent. In the meantime, crews are working to reopen the wharf.
There's 2 critical path items. The first is removal of the heavy equipment that fell into the ocean as a result of the incident. We're working with Power Engineering, the contractor on the project, as well as other salvage experts as to how best to do that. That's priority number 1. That heavy equipment potentially jeopardizes the stability of the rest of the wharf.
As for the future of the wharf,
I don't think we can speak with any confidence at this point as to whether rebuilding that section of the wharf is feasible or the appropriate thing to do in light of the increased frequency and power of these storm events that we're experiencing along our coastline.
We're not by ourselves on this. Every coastal community in the world has some version of this conversation going on.
And Main Beach and Cabo Beach in Santa Cruz are expected to reopen on Saturday, but Santa Cruz officials are asking the public to avoid the beaches until Monday. Not only is there a high surf warning still in place through the weekend, but there is a ton of debris out on the beach, and it is stretching at least 10 miles. Here in the studio, Gail Ong, KRON 4 News.